Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the F1 project for you guys today here on the channel. Today we are here for the Singapore and the Russian Grand Prix on today's channel. Now, as you can see on your screens right here, is the Drivers and the Constructors Championship. And via the Constructors Championship, you can see that we actually already won that. Didn't take me that long to win it, but then at the end of the day, when you're in the fastest car and you're making upgrades, it kind of makes things a little bit simpler. But if we have a look at the R&D tree, you can see that at the moment, there are no indications of any form of regulation change coming in for next season, which is going to be great for us. So we've gone ahead now and we've purchased a major upgrade to the aerodynamics and also to the chassis. And that means that we can then re-unlock these minor upgrades that we've been waiting all season long for, because we've had to go ahead and develop all of these minor pieces for the engine side, which has really set me back quite a bit. But nonetheless, we can push forwards with that. So we're here for the race. Qualifying, I believe, is actually going to be in the wet, full wet, and then we're going to have a dry race. So let's see how we get in qualifying, and then we'll go straight into the race. Did not feel happy on that lap, to be honest. I think I only got... Oh no, I did manage to get P5. I thought I only got P6, but nah, I wasn't comfortable. I got the fastest first sector, but just couldn't hook it up around the middle part of the lap. Wow, it's a Red Bull front row lockout. So there you go then. It's a little bit different on the grid for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's going to be a front row lockout with Weber on pole ahead of Verstappen, and then Hamilton coming in behind him. Vettel splitting me just in there. But yeah, I set the fastest first sector by probably about a tenth or so. And then the other two sectors, it just began to fall away. And obviously, I had no practice at all with Singapore in full wet, because I didn't know it was going to be like that. And to be honest, the last time I've done full wet around Singapore, I don't think I've ever done it. So it's not too bad. It's going to be a dry race. So all I've got to do really is ditch Vettel quickly and get on the back of the top three in front of me. Alright, so we're on the grid then to start the Singapore Grand Prix. And as you can see, I'm just currently going ahead and making some changes to the strategy. I'm just trying to see what's the fastest option. I think that if I did this strategy, then I would finish the race a tiny bit faster. I think I'll stick to that as my phone buzzes off there. That's very professional. But we're starting from P4 on the grid. I believe one of the Red Bulls has been penalised, and also is Park Ferme... Oh, it is Bulls. I wanted to reduce the aero down a bit. Never mind. Right, let's go and do this. Here we go. Let's try and have a good race. Let's try and get in front of the pack. We've had good starts in the past. Let's have another one, please. Verstappen certainly hasn't had the best start. Hamilton's on mediums. Interesting. Am I the only one on mediums here? No, but Max is on softs. Okay. Hamilton's going different here. Realistically, I want to pass him. I have to pass him. Alright, someone just explain to me how on earth I've just made that overtake stick around the outside of Hamilton. What I've done it. That's what I can confirm to you here, is that I've made that overtake work. Critically now, we are in front of those medium tyre runners. That was a bit close to the wall. Verstappen is, although, decided he doesn't want to be here for a while. So I've got to keep up with him. 1 second's the gap already. I need to make sure that I am comfortably pulling away from Hamilton as well. There's no point in me doing this strategy if I can't pull away from Hamilton, because he'll come back at me. New fastest lap of the race for us, as we look to try and hunt down Max Verstappen. DRS is now enabled. We are well in range of it. I am all over the back of him, and we are pulling away from Hamilton. Although, again, he is on those mediums, so he'll come back at me at the end of the race. Unless he does the stupid thing where they'll just go onto hard tyres instead, which will kind of ruin it if they do. Are we close enough? Oh, he's going to put me off the track. That's completely fair. I'm much closer this time for an attack. Goes to the inside. Got him. That was critical. We're past Max Verstappen, up into the race lead here in Singapore. Oh, that's a bit weird. There we go. We've definitely been using a lot of our fuel mixtures in this race. Now the question is am I actually quicker than Max? Or was I just able to follow very easily? Just looking at my tyres here, they're in good shape, you know?
Don't forget, box this lap.
Most is 34% on my front right tyre. I'm still pulling away from Verstappen and Hamilton. Realistically, what's the point in doing 10-11 laps on my medium tyres and wearing them out? I could go longer. It would make sense to go longer as well. Yeah, let's stay out, I think. I think it's the wise choice. If I can stay out for 1 or 2 laps longer, it should stop me from getting under attack from, you know, those drivers that are under pressure behind, you know. There's just not a gap for me to come out of the pits in. Everyone's just staying out, look. There's a few that are coming into the pits that are probably on soft tyres like me. Hamilton's going to close the gap on me ever so it's going to close the gap on me quite a bit because Verstappen is now in... Sorry, Hamilton's in DRS of Verstappen, so he's going to close it to him. So my gap is going to drop. It's down to 2.6. It was 3 seconds a minute ago. So we've got to try and focus up a little bit. But pace is still good. So really, I'm okay. Only really when Hamilton passes Max do I really need to then say, right, time to come in and get off these tyres. Till then, I don't really need to, that's wide.
Take this lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Okay, missed my pit box. It's alright, we made it in. Decent first stint. We did lose about, I'd say 3, probably on that final sector. Probably about 4 tenths of a second versus Hamilton, which isn't the best for us. But we are on fresh medium tyres, which does mean that we're going to get a little, maybe a lap or 2, extra pace back against Hamilton by being on fresh tyres. So, if I get out in this queue here, that'd be great. I'll be on the verge of it. Oh my god. Or I'll make contact with the Williams instead. For God's sake. Let's just compromise my line. That's like all of my first sector just gone. There's Verstappen as well in the background, actually. So he's gained on me. But he did come in a little bit earlier than I did. He came in a lap earlier, actually. Which, in fact, is a good indication of how much closer Verstappen is to me, giving me undercut knowledge. I should be able to get Russell here. That was tight. Jesus Christ. He certainly didn't have to squeeze me up against the wall. In comes Hamilton. Which will be for the soft tyres then. I'm about 19 seconds behind to Hamilton. Vettel pits for softs, as I presume Hamilton will. And we are in front of them. Honestly, not by as much as I wanted, but we are ahead nonetheless, which is fine. Actually, we do have a sizable margin against them. That's a lot. I didn't think it'd be that much. It depends on how fast they're on soft tyres. And they've got to clear Verstappen before they get to me, and they've got 5 laps to do it. I wonder what the gap is between me and Hamilton. I'll have to find that out. Butler 13.3 ahead. I've gained nearly 2 seconds on Butler so far. He's going to be way out the running.
Gap to teammate behind is 8.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're in 4th.
Are they really going to... Is Hamilton in serious going to gain 8.4 seconds on me, pass me, and pass Verstappen? I don't think so. I think this strategy was the right call. I don't think they've got enough time. They've only got 5 laps to get a move on. And I don't think they've done it. Ha 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 ha. Rich hot lap, all of the power. And we've managed to set the fast lap of the race and take that off of Hamilton. He's only half a second behind Verstappen, mind. I think Hamilton will pass Max, and it will be a Mercedes 1-2. Which, considering it was a Red Bull front row lockout, albeit Weber has had to take a penalty. Could have been potentially different if Weber was up the front with us. But Weber having that penalty really just put Verstappen in a tough place. He's had to defend against me, and he's had to defend against Hamilton. Obviously, we managed to pass him, but of course, Hamilton now is onto him on a different strategy. We run 2 strategies against 1 car, so that is your perfect type of tag team scenario. When if you're in a close fight like me and the Red Bulls were today, you know, if one of your cars is out of the equation, you've got the other 2 that are just as the 3 of you are just as quick as each other. You can set this type of strategy up. It's all about if Hamilton can pass Max. That's the question. Right, final corner then. Hamilton has managed to pass Verstappen in there as well. But for us, though, it is the win under the lights in Singapore, which is great for us and great for Mercedes. It's another 1-2 finish, and we're pretty much just guiding ourselves through this season. And then when we start getting, into next season, we may see some other teams really jump up and give us a good run for our money. So for now, we just take advantage while we're at it. And yeah, great scenario for us there. Taking the race victory in front of Lewis Hamilton and also getting the fast lap as well, which is amazing for us. So that's sort of like double. I don't really have a word for it, to be honest. Double the fun, double the points, double the double. We'll call it double the double. That'll do. But yeah, there we go. As we have a look then at the race results when it actually wants to show up.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings.
Like now. So we set the fastest lap of the race then, so we do come across and beat Lewis Hamilton there with a 1:38.4 versus his 38.5 to take the fastest lap and the race win. Verstappen finishes in P3 with the 2 Ferraris then lining up next with Vettel started down in P4, Butler in P5. Weber started in P10, so he must have taken a 10-place grid penalty. And then somebody else must have had a penalty, which then obviously promoted Weber up to start in P10 because he dropped 9 places. Good recovery from him. Finishes in P7 on around Singapore. It's not the best place for your overtaking. But then in terms of the Drivers' Championship, that just allows us to fly clear, really. 68 points now between myself and Hamilton. Coming up to some slightly weaker tracks for me, though. He could close that back down again. Or maybe I'll perform in the Mercedes. I don't know. Constructors' Championship, well, we already won that. And we extended it, so it's even more, which is hilarious. But yeah, we're now going to go and move on to Russia and get that underway.
Up, everyone. They've announced that the technical regulations are changing for next season. Now there's a risk that a lot of our hard work will be undone if we're not careful. So let's figure out how to mitigate this. Drivers, take a look at the developments we have and let us know what you want to invest in protecting. Alright everyone, let's get on top of this.
Bollocks, there is a regulation change. I swear to God, if this is on the engine, I'm going to kick off. I think my aero department came on. Right, where is it? Where is it? It doesn't say. Where is it just durability? Oh, is that it? Well, that's not terrible then. So it's a durability regulation change. So nothing to do with performance. That's actually not that bad. That's not bad at all. I can invest in durability and I can just leave that. Yeah, go on, let's do that. How is that now all of a sudden just dropped from 3? Oh, because I was on gearbox. My bad. Right, we'll look at saving all the durability pieces. Then there's what? So we've got 300, 350, 325, and 275. Okay. That's not terrible to save. I thought it would be a bit more. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. What I think I'll do is I'll invest my R&D points to save the durability. And then I think for the rest of the season, here, I've got 2 major upgrades, which I'll be blocked by. I think I'll invest in these 4 pieces. If this gets onto the car, I'll invest in this one specific piece. and then I'll be done for R&D development because I've gotten what's it called? We've got a team goal which I'm trying to get. I need to get pole position in this race to secure it, and then I've got also the rivalry with Hamilton. I think I'm just about on the cusp of beating it. So let's get into this weekend and try and get a good performance in and save the rest of my parts. You know when a lap just feels perfect?
Good job, mate. Really
That was that lap.
That was a fantastic
That just felt
run.
perfect. Made a slight mistake in turn 1. Sorry, not turn 1, turn 2.
With qualifying
But
finished, it's time to
oh
remind
my
ourselves
Christ.
of our top 3, Thomas, Hamilton and Lucas Faber. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry. we'll be back
Holy
tomorrow as we
crap.
head into the Grand Prix.
Huh? Are they bugged? I'm sorry, I can't go 1.3 sec. Hang on a minute. Right, race direct. This can't be true. Right, what did I do? 32.5. I was 0.6 up in the first sector. 31.5. Half a second up in the middle sector. 26 set. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm definitely raising the difficulty then. I've literally had it on 103. Changing that. Well, if anything, if qualifying's to go by, let's hope that this race isn't a dominatrix show. I have upped the difficulty to 105 to see if that makes any difference. Just bumped it up from 103 to 105, so maybe that gap can get closed down a bit. Lights out and away we go. Not the best start for me, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to slot in. Hamilton's going to get the run, which is perfectly fine. I know that's coming. Ooh. Went in too deep into one. Just going to try and hold the middle of the circuit here to stop Hamilton from having any edge. Now this track is also completely different to Singapore in terms of tyre wear. Well, it doesn't exist really. It's just abandoned. Started to come into my own in this Grand Prix now. I had early pressure from Lewis Hamilton behind, but I've sort of weathered that storm a little bit now, which is nice. So now I'm just sort of maintaining my pace versus Hamilton. The only frustrating thing is I have to delete 40 minutes of unused footage because I was on the phone for 40 minutes just now in the middle of this recording. So that's going to be fun. So I'm just going to go back through my own footage and just find 40 minutes where it just says, where it's just paused and idle. It's just going to be hilarious. I don't know whether it's just like a me thing or if it's maybe to do with the car and the performance that I've got. But at the moment, obviously I'm not going to hold my breath because I haven't got to the tracks yet, which, well, yeah, I've kind of half-heartedly got to the tracks that I'm struggling with. And it's probably to do with the car. The tracks that I've struggled at in this game, I've actually done really well at. I don't know if that's like been noticed, and again, it's probably because I'm in the fastest car. And obviously the plan is just to keep upgrading, obviously, and that's the point of this entire series, is to max out the car. But I just feel like that's like potentially like a case because, like Baku, for example, I came second after starting last in that race, and that's like a super OP track for the AIs. The OP track for the AI again, France, like I finished second and I gave it a good fight. Granted, they were all over me in that race. But like, you know, there have been races where I've just been very solid defensively and I've just done a great job to get in front of them. Like, you know, Germany and Hungary, for example, being two main ones. Silverstone to an extent, but I pulled away after that. It's probably just to do with this Mercedes car, if I'm honest, like, because it's the fastest car, but I just feel like the weaker tracks that I've had, I've not felt as weak. Like, you know, I've done my bit to get myself in contention. In those races where I knew that I wasn't going to be fast at least I gave it a go. The only track that I can think of where I got absolutely battered was Australia, off the top of my head, when Hamilton beat me by like 10 seconds. Apart from that, I don't really remember a track where I got demolished by an AI.
We've been awarded a time penalty. We'll against our finishing
Well,
time
that's
at the
not
end
the
of
best
race.
thing in the world for me to get. 3-second time penalty just been awarded there. Track limits. Funnily enough, my track limit warnings, speaking of them, ignore that. All of my warnings that led to that penalty was from that exact same corner. Which is a ball ache. I've got that corner wrong 3 times now.
Remember to pit this lap.
And it's cost me. But we're coming into the pits at the end of this lap. We're 4.7 seconds clear. So at the moment, net 1.7 seconds clear. To be honest, I think I've got Hamilton covered, if I'm honest with you guys. I don't have any problems with him behind. And if he does close the gap, I can just go ahead and blitz it. Oh dear, missed it again.
Corners, the stewards will give you a penalty.
I just got a freaking track extension warning because I missed the corner. Sorry, gamer. You plebs. Right, we're coming into the pits. On go the medium tyres. 2-second pits. My Mercedes crew have been rapid in this episode for pit stops. A 1.9 and a 2-second dead pit stop. My team got the skills. We are going to come up behind this lot. Am I going to rejoin in front of the Alpha and the Toro Rosso? Yes, we are.
Strategy complete.
Just. It's going to be close
Through to the end now.
because we're getting up to speed while they're already at high speed. Yeah, we'll be fine. It's going to be getting out of front of... It's going to be getting out in front... Oh, sorry. Will I close up to this pack in front of me, or will I just get to the back of them before they come into the pits? Because I don't want to get held up by them, really.
Great work.
That was my lap where I just had some fun. 133.8. Just basically having a lot of fun. 8 seconds clear now of Lewis Hamilton. So comfortable in this race. I didn't realise Russia was so weak for the AIs. It's either really weak for the AIs, or it's just a track that I've secretly just found my dream setup for. I haven't even done that much work around here. I skipped all the programs apart from the qualifying pace one. And track acclimatization, sorry. I only did 2 practice programs. Normally, I do all of the programs bar the race strategy because I can't be bothered to go around for 3 laps because, well, race strategy is not critical in a 25% race format like I'm doing for this series. So, really, I didn't really do that much. I must have really hooked the setup up. And there we go then, across the line to win the Russian Grand Prix in fine style. Another simplistic victory for us, which pretty much just gets us even closer to wrapping up both of the championships as we pursue even further to make my beast of a Mercedes even more of a speed machine, really. That's kind of the aim. It's just going to be a speed machine. That's all I really have to say about it. I don't really have any other words apart from speed machine. Yes. So that was awesome. Really fun race, actually. I had a lot of fun. Not gonna lie, I haven't driven around Russia in a while, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to race around there today. But we're gonna have a look then at all of the championship standings then, which will bring us ever closer to wrapping up the Drivers' Championship. Of course, we won the race by 6.6 seconds in the end. Overall, it was obviously 9.6 across the line, but of course, we lost 3 seconds because we had a time penalty for exceeding the track limits. In terms of the championship standings, it's 76 points now between myself and Hamilton. We've pulled away from Lewis, but it is another 1-2 for Mercedes, which is just crazy. And that means we're 355 points clear now. And we're coming up to the 700-point mark barrier with Mercedes-Benz. I wonder if we can hit 800 points for this season. That'd be a cool target to go for. But yeah, that's where we stand. And that's the Russian Grand Prix done and dusted. Yes, we beat Lewis Hamilton in the rivalry for the 3rd time. So we're going to get the 600 R&D points for completing the team goal. Plus then the rivalry win, which is right there. That's 1,100 resource points. Absolutely beautiful. Right. We've got the contract negotiation to go through. The negotiations there, darling. What is this? From you can bugger off, right? Level 3, level 3, level 3, second, first driver, hard. What do you say to that?
They didn't like those terms.
Wow.
Let's try again.
Whoa. We'll reduce this, mate. We'll reduce this. There we go.
They aren't coming round to that proposal.
Bollocks.
Let's try something else.
I've got to be careful here. Right, level 1 on that. There we go. That worked. So we're gonna have level 3 on the race, level 3 on the level 3 on the race bonus, level 2 on the upgrades, level 1 on simultaneous development, second for quali in the race, first driver this time, so will be the number 1 driver for Mercedes now, hard team goals, pretty much maxing my contract value, which is amazing. And last but certainly not least, we're now going to go over to the R&D tree, and we're going to save everything for the durability side. So we're going to save it, and save it. Lovely, so we've now got 600 R&D points left, and all we're waiting for now is this chassis upgrade. So, and we're going to do this, hopefully this comes onto the car, and then we'll be able to upgrade this rear floor under tray and leave the chassis alone for the rest of the season. But guys, if you have enjoyed this episode of the F1 Project, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. And without further ado, I will see you guys for the next episode very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Take care all. Peace.